Hey, what's up, everybody? I want to welcome you to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Daily Recap, where we give you a recap of all of the hot topics that we covered that day. You can catch them in their long format and also catch it fully streaming for free on Apple Podcasts. As you guys know, there was a lot of spin that took place this summer when it started to become clear that LeBron's and the Lakers' relationship was coming to a close. And then ultimately, the Lakers went and gave Austin Reeves that big paycheck. And then shortly after that, the news came out that LeBron has decided to move on from the Lakers, right? And a lot of people ran with it. You saw people on ESPN running with it, various publications running with it, but they all knew that they were lying. They all knew that they were lying through their teeth. They all knew, right? And many of us were calling it out at the time, like, hey, this is not true. The Lakers moved on from even Rick Bucher. Right, Rick Bucher, who has a lot of credibility, he was saying that wasn't the case. The Lakers had already moved on from him. So yesterday I saw a show from the basketball show, and he actually brought up this audio that I was unaware of, where essentially Ramona Shelburne of ESPN, who actually focuses on the Lakers specifically, was on the Rich Eisen show. And they were talking, and then this whole situation came about where they were talking about kind of the end of LeBron's time with the Lakers, and Ramona Shelburne said, no, this thing had been over with 2 years ago. It wasn't that he left the Lakers. The Lakers had already made it clear that they were done with the relation. This is someone that covers the Lakers specifically. And I'm like, finally, we can put an end to this nonsense, because these people are constantly trying to spin it and make it seem like, no, he left them, when in reality, that was never the case. So we want to play the video for you now. Take a listen to what she had to say here, and then we're going to come back and continue on. Take a listen to Ramona Shelburne here.
And you said that this deal has been knocking on the door. Is there any connection between LeBron leaving and wanting no piece of this and him no longer being on the Lakers?
I don't think so. Okay. No, I don't. I don't think there's any tie-in. Right. I really think LeBron, in reporting on his departure after the fact, okay, like we all reported on it during the time period, and then now we're doing it after the fact. I really think he was done with the Lakers after that last game. I don't think there was anything they could have done differently, except for maybe give him an extension last year or give him a third year on the first extension he signed. He did a 1-and-1. I think he wanted 3 years. They weren't willing to do that because they wanted it to line up with Luka, or they wanted the salary cap flexibility that summer. I don't know if they had Luka yet. But I think that fate was sealed last August. I think that I really do. Now looking back on it, I think that was all done. He wasn't going to play for less with the Lakers, because that's such an insult to play for so much less with this team. It's like when your boss asks you to take a pay cut, especially after the year he had, and he was so good. It's different. There's a sort of curse of the incumbency. I don't think he wanted to be the third banana. He just accepted that role. He wanted to be wanted. He wants to have a key role. This is Luka's team. They turned the page. It was done last year. And everybody made the best of it, and he was professional about it. He had a great year. Now he's in Philly. Everyone recruited him. Miami recruited him. Cleveland recruited him. The Warriors obviously have tried to trade for him 4 times. He keeps saying no. It felt good to be wanted compared to a place where they already traded for your replacement. Mm-hmm. I get it. No harm, no foul. It's an amicable divorce. Nobody's paying alimony. He's in Philly. He's happy.
Perfect. So you heard what she had to say. Look, this thing was over a while ago. It was over when the Lakers didn't offer an extension. Then it was also over when Rob Pelinka was asked, hey, are you guys going to give LeBron an extension? And he essentially said, go ask LeBron what he wants to do. Saying if he wants to retire, we'll be happy for him to retire as a Laker. But apart from that, we're moving on. Excuse me. Then we get to this offseason, and the Lakers don't offer him a contract. The Lakers were ready to move on. They were ready to move on. They had seen 8 years of it. And I think regardless of however he played in the playoffs, they were ready to move on. Even though he helped the team get past the first round, maybe in LeBron's mind, he thought, hey, I've done enough to deserve a max contract. I was able to lead the team out of the first. The Lakers said no. They had already made their decision, which makes me feel like it's something that Luka also wanted. I think Luka looked at the situation and said, look, man, this is not what I have envisioned for myself. Not that you guys want us to win. You know, I was traded here against my will, but if I'm going to be here and you guys are serious about competing for a title, this is not the kind of roster that I want. So they went down a different path in terms of roster construction. So I also think behind the scenes, this is not something that Luka was eager to be a part of, if I'm being honest with you. I don't think he would. I don't think this is what he wanted. Right? I think that he wanted a different team that they're building. And we got some other news we're going to get to a little bit later, depending on when you're the order of today's shows that you're watching. But that was it. The relationship had run its course. I also think that the fan base had kind of seen enough at this point. I think the Laker fan base were like, man, we're tired. I remember seeing Keyshawn Johnson last time he was on TV with Paul Pierce, and he's like, yeah, we don't want LeBron back for another year. He was like, no disrespect, but it's like, enough is enough. They have had enough. It just wasn't the right pairing. Maybe if LeBron had chosen a different city, maybe things would have been different, but they had seen enough. And I think that given the fact that they had already lost in the playoffs in round one against the Minnesota Timberwolves in 5 games, those guys aren't going to win again. And that trio of him, Luka, and Reed, it just wasn't going to work. It wasn't going to work. And frankly, I don't think LeBron fans wanted him to be on the team any longer. I think LeBron fans themselves were ready for him to move on. I know they were ready for him to move on. I know LeBron fans wanted him to be like, hey, go somewhere else where you could be appreciated. Why are you staying with this franchise? They don't want you. The fan base doesn't want you. Can you please move on? So when the news came out this summer that he could potentially go to these top teams in the NBA, they were hoping for that. They were excited about it. So that's why I think they parted ways amicably. I think LeBron wanted to move on. I think the Lakers wanted to move on. And that was that. I don't think it was anything more complicated than that. There have been a lot of people criticizing Luka Doncic as of late, especially after who left LA, right? A lot of people are criticizing him. But what I saw today really, really took me aback. I came across an article from Fadeaway World. I want to read the headline. It says, ex-NBA player, arrogant Luka learned nothing from LeBron James. JJ Redick, wrong fit for the Lakers. Let's get straight into the article. It says, Al Harrington, the 16-year NBA veteran who played in the league in 2014, recently sat down for an interview on the Toe Baja podcast and discussed Luka Doncic in detail with the crew of the show. While comparing the Lakers superstar to Jalen Brunson, the crew addressed whether Doncic had reached his ceiling. That's when Harrington began criticizing Doncic's time with the Lakers so far under LeBron James and JJ Redick's mentorship. I think to this point, like, it ain't all about points. That's what I'm saying. We know better. We're hoopers. It ain't about how many points cause you can get a lot of points and still be a bad player. Or getting points just because you're in an environment that you're in. They need to score points. You understand what I'm saying? Continues on. I think with him, it's just like, can he get with somebody that can develop his whole game? So like, would you think that going to play with LeBron James, right? Would you think that going to play with LeBron James, right? And seeing LeBron's habits and all that bleep would overall like make him better, right? I personally think that probably did not happen because one, I think he's arrogant. I also think that LeBron is at the point in his career that he probably doesn't even have the same patience. He probably don't have the same approach. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guarantee like he's lacking in some bleep, probably on the court, Harrington said. Probably not off the court. He probably still doing all of this bleep with on the ball and keeping his body, perfect, but probably his approach to like the court bleep probably ain't the same. So so dude don't get a chance to see that. Continues on. But I just think that he's either going to need a coach, a Popovich type, or somebody or something that's somebody that can really sit him down and like really explain to him and convince him like what it takes to be an all-time great basketball player, like, and to be able to bring in the accolades. Because it's funny, because I forgot about the finals bleep, because when you really think about it, it's like he's talented and he is, and all the issue and problems that he has or whatever, he still has won at the highest level. Like, when you really think about it, yeah, bro, it's crazy. He didn't stop. This is pretty long. This is pretty difficult to read quotes. Continues on. When I was talking about JB, when I first brought it up, I wasn't even thinking about the fact that he did just go to the finals 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So even with that being said, they definitely are more than even, and than I was initially thinking about it. But I just think that Charlie's point, I think there's another level for him. But I don't honestly think JJ is the one to pull it out of him because he played against JJ. Like, it's just like play. And he even played with him. It's just like the respect is never going to be there. It's always going to be, he's always going to remember the time where in his mind he was sitting there and looking at JJ like, this MFer is a bum or whatever, whatever it was. You know what I'm saying? Like, he'll never be able to get past that. So he's going to need somebody with a pedigree. And when you really even think about it, when you think about all the coaches in the league, it ain't even nobody in the league that has that anymore, right? Harrington concluded. And then the article then goes on to say this. In 2025, Luka averaged 33.5 points, 8.3 assists, 7.7 rebounds, while shooting 47% from the field and 36% from the three-point line. What are my thoughts about this? This is the pattern. What was said about Kyrie Irving after LeBron left? He lost a mentor. You remember what the reporter said when he asked Kyrie, is LeBron James like a father figure to you? And Kyrie Irving got offended, as any man would. You're calling my teammate a father figure. You crazy? This is the pattern. Now Luka is arrogant. What NBA player is not? What great NBA player is not arrogant? You want him to put his arms on LeBron, to put his arm. What if he didn't care about that? What if he's focused on getting better on his own? Maybe that's not the player he would want to go under his wing. Maybe it's not LeBron. Maybe it's somebody else. I'm just saying. Luka led the league in scoring and put up great numbers. He'd already been to the finals without LeBron James. He just lost to a better team. So, look, man, I think they're going to look for any and everything to criticize Luka Doncic this year. They're going to look for anything and any reason that they can think about to criticize Luka. To say he's arrogant, I think that's nonsense. I think every great player is arrogant, and there's nothing wrong with being arrogant. Nothing wrong with it. I don't see anything wrong with it. He's arrogant, and so what? Who isn't? In the NBA at that level, it's not arrogant and full of themselves. Like, let's be for real here. But this is what they want. This is what you wanted Luka to be hanging out with him like the way AD did, right? He basically wanted Luka to be his little bro. And Luka's like, no, I'm not doing any of that, bro. Like, I'm a grown-ass man. I have kids. Like, what you think? Like, I can pick your brain and talk to you. What you want me to do? Be following you on vacation like Draymond Green? I'm not doing that. Like, what you want me to be following you around? And nah, we not doing none of that. No, we grown-ass men at the end of the day, bro. I'm good. So, you know how you had the, oh, man, it's over for the Lakers, man. It's over for the Lakers, man. LeBron's gone. The Lakers going to go on the toilet, man. What did Richard Jefferson say? This is going to be a very, very interesting next 5 years for the Lakers. It's going to be a very, very interesting next 5 years. You remember when Richard Jefferson said that? Hey, yo, Richard, dog, what was the last 5 years like? What were the last 5 years like since you're so concerned about the Lakers? All of these dudes that was in the media, that are in the media, butthurt that the Lakers decided to move on and blah, 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 blah. And many of them preying on the Lakers' downfall. Oh, man, I told y'all. You have bozos running down in my comment section talking about, I thought you was a Laker fan. Them same dudes that was asking me that question are the same ones saying all of this right now. Now that you got these honey slinging, twerking ass LeBron fans out the building, now all of a sudden you seeing what their real colors are. But anyway, we got some major news for y'all that y'all gonna absolutely love. And by y'all, I'm talking about Laker Nation. The haters, they gonna hate. You know what I mean? The haters gonna hate. but this is great news. Let's get into the first post. This is from Basketball Forever, right? Just good news all around. Good news. You know what I mean? Good news. You know the haters is dying. First one, the Lakers will look to target Nikola Jokic, multiple NBA reports say. The team is going to be dead set on acquiring Jokic, after their ownership situation is sorted out, Lakers insider Anthony F. Inward says. The odds of the three-time MVP leaving Nuggets is increased. He wants to be a Nugget for life, so the Laker fans should bet the house on landing him. Things can change quick in the NBA. If Denver struggles again this season, Jokic may look to move on next summer. It would take a sign and trade to get him to Los Angeles, but the Lakers would happily make that move. Lake Show's Life, Tyler Watts says. Could we really see a Luka and Jokic combo in LA? Next post. This is from Courtside Buzz. It says this. Once the Los Angeles Lakers ownership situation is resolved, their focus will be dead set on trying to lure Nikola Jokic away from the Denver Nuggets. And then we got a post. This is from Basketball for Fadeaway World. It says Los Angeles Lakers focus on drama is resolved. Continue. The Los Angeles Lakers are experiencing turbulent times as their ownership situation remains unsolved. With Mark Walter out and Bob Iger / Josh Kushner in, the future carries an air of uncertainty that looms over the entire franchise. Even so, the Lakers have not lost sight of the mission. When things have settled internally, they will reportedly begin to pursue their next big superstar. Specifically, they could look to the Denver Nuggets for potential deal for superstar center Nikola Jokic. All I can say is when the Lakers get their ownership situation figured out, a lot of the organization's eyes are going to be dead set on Denver, wrote NBA insider Anthony Irwin. Jokic would be a dream addition for the Purple and Gold as a three-time MVP and champion, has a resume that speaks for itself. Last season in 65 games, he averaged 27.7 points, 13 rebounds, 10.7 assists, 1.4 steals, and 0.8 in blocks per game on 56% shooting. Like damn, bro. The man led the league in assists at the 5 position, bro. Do you understand how insane that is? Let's continue on. As it stands, Jokic undoubtedly one of the best big men in the game and would raise the Lakers' ceiling tenfold. While Jokic isn't available at this time, he hasn't signed a long-term extension with the Nuggets, and many speculate there's a possibility he could leave in the not-too-distant future. With 62.8 option 27.28. He did state publicly that he plans to sign next summer, but that was before their latest offseason, which can only be described as a major disappointment. It continues on. The Los Angeles Lakers would love to add Nikola Jokic to their roster, and the odds of landing him improved after Denver Nuggets traded Peyton Watson to the Cleveland Cavaliers for virtually nothing, wrote Tyler Watts. Things are headed south in Denver, and Luka Doncic gives the Lakers a serious chance to steal the Joker if he ever decided to change teams. The Lakers won't have much to offer, y'all. Yes, they would. Let's get to the news here. Yes, they would. You know who one of the contracts would be? Austin Reeves. You see how that contract comes into play now? Let me tell you why I think the Lakers could get this guy. Camaraderie. These people are from the same part of the world. Luka and Nikola Jokic are mad cool. You go watch All-Star games when they greet each other. These dudes are always playing around like kids, right? That familiarity culturally with these guys, it goes a long way. We may not think that, but it does. And trust me, looking at how I'm looking at Luka right now and the moves that the Lakers are, Luka's a smooth operator, man. He's a smooth operator. And I'm going to be looking for all of those bozos out there talking about, oh, man, Lakers got an all-white team. How the hell do you expect them to win now? Back. You put Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic on the same team, you're going to be saying that dumbass shit outside? Do you know how many black people be celebrating that? People from all colors? We don't care about none of that, man. The dude averaged a triple-double and led the league in assists at the 5 spot. Who are you fooling with? And you telling me we got a chance to land son over there? Yo, Nikola, pull up. Pull up. Straight up and down. Pull up, dog. We need to make that happen expeditiously. immediately. Now we talking, you heard? Now we are talking that talk. This is what we talking about. Absolutely. And you know LeBron fans are going to be beside themselves. Because the last thing they want to see is Nikola Jokic win a championship. That's the last thing they want to see. So all you're going to see is hating ass LeBron fans in the comment section. Man, that ain't never going to happen, man. That ain't never going to happen, man. But we did watch AD go sign with the Lakers. We saw that happen, right? But this can't happen, right? The Lakers traded away a whole bunch of assets to get AD, but they can't get Nikola Jokic. This is the Lakers. They win championships essentially via trades. They're not building rosters. There's either free agency or trades. They don't go through the draft and build. No, it rarely happens like that. This is how the Lakers operate. Come on now. Pull up, Nikola. Let's get it popping out there in LA, you heard?